Something is happening in Hamilton right now, and if you live here, you've probably felt it. Some people are packing up and moving out of the city, and not just a couple families. We're talking thousands of people who are deciding that maybe Hamilton isn't the best fit for them. But here's the twist that no one's talking about. Just as many people or more are doubling down on Hamilton. Some are choosing Hamilton over other cities, and others who have left are coming back. So in this video, I'm going to discuss why some people feel like Hamilton just isn't working for them, where they're going, and why for others, Hamilton is the smartest choice to live in Southern Ontario. And stick around to the end because you may just walk away with a totally different perspective on the hammer. Now, let's start with the obvious reason, the cost of housing. For many years, Hamilton was Toronto's affordable younger cousin. But today, not everybody feels that way. As of late 2025, the average home price in Hamilton sits around $760,000. Detached homes are pushing the mid-800s. Townhomes will run you low to mid 600s, and condos, depending on the neighborhood, will cost you somewhere in the mid 400s. Now, I will preface all of that with something I often talk about, and the fact is that those averages are influenced by all the surrounding areas, including Ancaster, Dundas, Binbrook, Stony Creek, so that pushes those averages up. And yes, prices have come down from the pandemic peaks, but for a lot of first-time home buyers and young families, it can still be a stretch to get a home. And it's not just for buyers. A clean, well-kept one-bedroom apartment can cost anywhere from $1,800 to $2,200. So for young professionals trying to decide where to live, Hamilton, Kitchener, London, Brantford, there's a big decision to be made. And that pressure has shown up in population data. Hamilton has definitely lost young families to more affordable areas. But where are people going? Well, the patterns are pretty clear. Brantford being a main one. It offers cheaper housing, more space, and the commute to Hamilton isn't too bad. But if you are traveling to the GTA on a regular basis, it's a little far. When I first moved to Hamilton, we looked at Brantford as well, but that extra 40-minute drive when going back to Toronto was just too much. Next is the Niagara region. Places like St. Catharines and Welland definitely have lower home prices. The lifestyle is slower and quieter if that's what you're looking for, but it definitely doesn't have the same amenities as Hamilton. Then we have Kitchener and Waterloo, which attracts people for the tech jobs, plain and simple. If you work in tech and can't afford or don't want to pay the Toronto prices, KW definitely acts as a magnet for those people. It offers a great lifestyle, but it is more expensive than Hamilton. And then the fourth one on the list is the actual GTA, surprisingly. Some Hamilton homeowners are cashing out, downsizing, and moving closer to work or life in the GTA, especially if they can take advantage of built-up equity. The next big factor is jobs and commuting. Hamilton's economy has grown far beyond steel over the years. But some of the highest earning jobs for Hamiltonians are in Toronto, Waterloo, Oakville, or Kitchener. If you're commuting over the Skyway 5 days a week, it can really wear on you. Gas prices, time away from kids, congestion, it can all add up. And yes, we have to talk about taxes and infrastructure. Hamilton consistently sits near the top of Ontario property tax rates. So when you combine these higher property taxes with insurance, cost of living, and mortgage rates, many families are feeling the squeeze. On top of that, Hamilton is an older city. So some of the roads, transit, and sewer systems just haven't kept up with the growth. And like many other cities, certain pockets have struggled with crime and drug addiction. Definitely not the entire city, but it does get a bad rap sometimes for some of those areas. So when you stack all these things together, it can kind of make sense why some people feel like they want to leave. But here's what most people get wrong. Hamilton's not just a city people are running away from. It's also a city a lot of people are intentionally choosing because of the lifestyle. And contrary to it being one of the reasons people decide to leave, the affordability is what attracts a lot of people. So let's talk about why people stay and why people move here. And also why the Toronto to Hamilton migration is still one of the biggest in Southern Ontario. Reason number one, nature that is unmatched anywhere else. Waterfalls, escarpment trails, conservation areas, multiple parks, the Royal Botanical Gardens. If you're an outdoor person, Hamilton is a cheat code. You can't get that in Mississauga, and you definitely can't get that in Toronto unless you drive an hour and a half north or towards Hamilton. But if you live here, it's literally 10 minutes away. Unlimited waterfalls and the longest hiking trails in the country. The second reason is culture and community. Now, I know you might chuckle at the idea of Hamilton culture, but listen, Hamilton's art scene, music scene, and food scene have exploded over the last couple of years. There's events like Supercrawl and Festival of Friends. You got James Street North, Lock Street, a great indie coffee scene, and local breweries popping up all over the place. It's a gritty city with tons of personality, and that's a big draw for a lot of people who don't want the polished corporate vibe of downtown Toronto. And you don't have to live downtown Hamilton where some of the pockets of crime and drug abuse are. You have a lot of different neighborhoods and a lot of options depending on your lifestyle and price point. Third reason are the economic anchors. Hamilton Health Sciences, the waterfront, the airport, the manufacturing. These industries aren't going anywhere. And like I said, the city is always gearing up for future growth. These are all stable, long-term employers that are attracting new residents all the time. And reason number 4, Hamilton is still more affordable than Toronto or most other places in the GTA, except maybe Oshawa if you want to move to Oshawa. I did a video on Hamilton versus Oshawa. You can watch that here. So is Hamilton expensive? Well, I guess that depends on your definition of expensive and your lifestyle, but I think if you ask most people across Ontario, they would feel that everything is expensive these days. But compared to Toronto, Mississauga, Vaughan, Oakville, Markham, or even Barrie, it's still one of the more affordable cities in Southern Ontario. Someone selling a townhouse in Toronto can come to Hamilton and still buy a fully detached house with a big yard and have some money to spare. And remember, when I say Hamilton, people get this idea that Hamilton's just central Hamilton downtown. Hamilton Mountain is beautiful, Stony Creek, and as well as some of the surrounding areas that I mentioned earlier, like Binbrook, Ancaster, Westdale is a great neighborhood. There are a lot of areas for you to choose from. And the fifth reason is location, which is everything in real estate, right? This is one of Hamilton's biggest advantages. It's an hour to Toronto, an hour to Niagara, 90 minutes from Cottage Country, minutes to many major highways, the 403, the QEW, the Link, the Red Hill Valley Parkway, and then there's the Via Rail and multiple GO stations. So if you need access to multiple cities or your family spread out across the GTA, Hamilton is one of the most strategically located spots in Southern Ontario. So what does all this mean? Yes, people are moving out of Hamilton, but I bet you if we could really decipher the numbers, you would find that more people are moving into Hamilton. And like I said, the city is always preparing for it, especially with projects like the LRT and the new TD Coliseum. And yeah, both groups may have valid reasons. For some, affordability, lifestyle, taxes, etc. may push them elsewhere. But for others, especially those feeling squeezed out of cities like Toronto and surrounding areas, Hamilton gives them many things. A chance at home ownership, more space, a slower, more balanced lifestyle, and nature and culture that you won't find anywhere else. I made the move and I'm very happy with my decision. If you're thinking about doing the same or you just want to pick my brain, feel free to reach out. You can book a call using the link below. Till then, I'll see you on the next one.